We're live for day 3. I'm so excited for today because we're actually going to get into some strategy fun today. So I'm super excited. Today we're talking about your superpower, and we'll get into what that means and what that looks like in just a minute. I don't know why these ties were in my sweatshirt, but just a really funny story also as well too. I was wearing this full pink sweatsuit yesterday. I actually bought it to go to the Mean Girls movie with my girlfriends because we were like, we need to wear pink, and I don't have a lot of pink. I love pink. It's part of my brand, and I don't have a lot of pink. So I was like, okay, you need to buy more pink. But I bought this full sweatsuit. And yesterday I showed up at my boyfriend's house and we were, hanging out or whatever. And I walk into his bedroom and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have a matching sweatsuit. It's the same thing in a varying shade of pink. And I was like, that's how you know this is the right person. It was just really funny. That's probably not funny to you, but it was funny to me in the moment. And I thought it was cute. So I wanted to share. But today we are talking about your superpower. And while I'm talking about your superpower, I also want you guys to pop any questions that you have about hitting a $5,000 month, about signing clients, about marketing, about business in general, in the comments, because we're going to do hot seat coaching later towards the end of this week. And that will kind of start to give me some ideas of what could be supportive for you to bring to the table for that. And I can also answer those questions today. So just as a reminder, tomorrow, the 1st, I think that's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st. We are going to be taking away the bonus discounts for TVA. You still have about 20 something days to join, but the bonuses end tomorrow. So if you're curious about TVA and you are on your path to hitting your first $5,000 month, definitely message me about that. And then in addition, if you are new here, make sure that you go watch the replay for every single day this week for this live series. And also for today, make sure that you send me a little DM or a little message on Instagram and just let me know what your biggest takeaway is from the lives. Let me know what you've taken away from it. Let me know what you've enjoyed learning. Just give me some insight into what's been supportive and helpful for you. And we'll actually enter you to win one of 2 spots that we're giving away for free in my membership. And I'm super excited to give those away for free as well too, because I absolutely adore the membership. And I actually got feedback recently from someone that said they've gotten more from the membership than they did a $5,000 program. And I was like, well, that makes me feel special. So let's get into today. I see that we have some comments or questions here, but let's get into today. So we're talking about your superpower. And when I say your superpower, this is going to get a little bit, I wouldn't say woo-woo, but it's a little bit different. And then at the end, we're going to talk about some prompts for you to take into your content to start thinking about this, to connect with your ideal client, and to obviously sign more clients and to, stand out in the online space. So we've talked a little bit about, or I've talked a little bit about on my stories, how the online service provider space is vastly growing. It's not oversaturated by any means. I, have clients that are signing clients left and right. We're not in a space where you cannot sign clients or it's oversaturated, but we are in a place where marketing is not the same anymore. So when I started my business, I could very easily pop, an Instagram post up that said 5 ways to sign clients, and people would be like, oh my gosh, I need to work with you. And it doesn't work that way anymore because there's so much noise in the space. A lot of the work now is setting yourself apart and sharing your opinions and, really allowing yourself to be seen, but also having really strategic strategy when it comes to marketing. So we can't just post up, 5 ways to do this anymore. We have to actually analyze the data, understand what moves our audience, and we also have to understand what connects us with our audience. And my buyer types and how my audience buys might be vastly different than another mindset coach, right? So this is really, really personalized. And so I want you guys to think about, as I'm saying this, what your superpower might be. And it might get a little bit loud because I think I have guys out here doing leaf blowing. So if you hear some crazy noise, just ignore it. But I want you guys to think about what I might be telling you that your superpower is. So again, the mindset around the online space is that it's oversaturated, it's hard to get clients, and maybe you're not cut out for this. This is what I hear from a lot of people, especially when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. So I want you to take a second and think about your thoughts and how you think about yourself and your business on a day-to-day basis. And just ask yourself if you have a limiting belief around being a business owner or social media or your services or clients leaving you or signing clients if you feel like you're not good enough, or you kind of compare yourself to everyone else in the online space and maybe even feel like it's impossible for you to consistently sign clients. The amount of times I've even had moments where I've thought like, maybe this is a fluke, maybe this is the last client I sign. We're a long way away from that personally, but I think that everyone has a moment in business where they do that. And so you can share in the comments a common limiting belief that comes up for you, whether it is, if I take social media or copywriting out of my services, like maybe I'll never sign clients or my clients will leave me, or if I transition into the OBM role, like my clients will leave me. Like there's a lot of fears that come up because our safety is tied to our clients and money, right? And so you can share in the comments something that may have come up for you at different times in business, and just connect with the people that are here, because I think that we can all relate. And I see fellow OSPs and coaches in the space saying, I can't get clients. I've never found a client through Instagram, or, it feels really hard to get a client through Instagram. I don't know how to connect to my ideal client. I don't want to sound too salesy. I don't want to do this. My engagement is so low. What if I need to start a new account? I've heard everything under the sun. And I will tell you again, no matter what level you are at, I have multi-six-figure business owners in my space that are working with me, hypnotherapy wise, that still have these thoughts come up, that still have moments of like, maybe I should start a new account, or, maybe no one's watching my stories. I don't have the right people in my audience, even though they are creating sales. So these things don't necessarily go away. And so if you have any of these like what if moments, or any of these things that come up for you that, make it kind of feel like I'm not cut out for this, this is not, I'm not headed in the direction I want to head in, I will firstly say that your mindset is sabotaging you, because what you're doing when you're doing this is you're looking at everyone else as, the superpower, or everyone else as the thing that's like the answer outside of yourself, right? So wrapping this all up, your superpower is you. So if you listened to my Instagram live on Monday, we talked about being at cause versus at effect. We talked about taking radical responsibility for your results, and ultimately how we have these limiting beliefs that can stifle our potential or can change our behavior on a day-to-day, how we show up in our business. And so the way that the subconscious mind works is if we have a limiting belief in business, and we also have a goal, and okay, let me start over with that. If we have a goal in business and any of these thoughts are coming up that I just mentioned, there's likely something in the way blocking you if you have not achieved that goal yet. Because your subconscious mind literally wants to just prove that it's right all the time. So it chooses the path of least resistance. It wants to keep you comfortable and safe. So this is what we talked about on Monday. And so the reason why this is, so important, and why I brought hypnotherapy into my coaching as well too, is because it's so important that we address these beliefs at a subconscious level in order to, change, in order to actually see change in our day-to-day life. So if you're someone that thinks like the online space is oversaturated, or I can't sign clients, or whatever, you have these things that come up on a day-to-day, your unconscious mind will try and make that true. I just noticed there's like a tiny little fly. Where did you come from? I get so easily distracted on these lives because I'm just like spewing, but the online space, if you feel like the online space is oversaturated and you believe that to be true, your subconscious mind will seek to make that true. So it will filter out any opportunity to get clients easily, or it will come up with a way to, prove that it's hard to get clients, or prove that you can't get clients, or prove that you're not able to, show up every single day and post content, or, will actually like fight. You'll feel resistance towards doing the things that you need to do in order to sign clients. So again, this is where I get back to like all of this stems from us looking at other people and comparing ourselves to other people and outsourcing our own power. It looks like us, comparing ourselves to the other social media managers or VAs or OBMs or whatever, and saying like, why is it working for her, but it's not working for me? Or the other coaches that are seemingly like just signing clients like the drop of a hat, right? Like, why is it happening for her and it's not happening for me? That is your mindset sabotaging your success, because you're not staying in your own lane and you're outsourcing your power. So this brings me all the way around to the fact that your superpower is you. And the way that we cut the noise of the oversaturation, it doesn't exist, but we cut the noise of oversaturation, the way that we cut the noise between, why is it working for her and not working for me, is to cut that out, stop comparing, and to own the fact that clients are going to come to you because of who you are. Clients are going to come to you because of what you bring to the table that's different. And that doesn't mean that you have to come up with this like brand new pioneering, business model that no one else has ever done before, but it does mean that we need to focus on connection, building community, looking at like building an actual movement or building, a brand versus just like a little Instagram business. And it means that we need to look at the pieces in play in our strategy as well too, between marketing and gaps that we might have, like gap analysis, which we're going to go into tomorrow, potentially seeing where you could have gaps in your business that are preventing you from making more money, right? It means that we need to be strategic, because otherwise, if so-and-so, the person you're comparing yourself to isn't having these thoughts and is showing up every single day and is selling and is letting their magic be seen and is saying like, I'm the shit, like I'm owning my superpower, I'm the best damn thing to happen to my clients, and they're signing clients, and then you're sitting around and you're comparing yourself and you're thinking like, why is it working for her and not for me? That's exactly why, right? And so towards the end of this live, I'm going to give you some prompts that I want you to use to really think about before we get into gap analysis tomorrow, some things to think about that we can add into your marketing, but also some things just to think about to come back to yourself in, realizing that you are the motherfucking star here. Like you're the main character here. And that's the energy that we want to show up with on Instagram, is like, I am the best thing here. Right. And, ultimately your superpower is you. I don't know why today my words are just, I'm getting excited. So often, we need to realize that you have everything that you need within you already to sign high ticket clients. You could sign a $10,000 client tomorrow, but you have to own your superpower first. You have to own the fact that you are it, like you're the life-changing aspect for your clients. You have to own like your confidence. You have to own showing up and letting your services be seen. You have to own the fact that you have to actually do the work, right? And so the transformation that you provide is everything that your ideal client needs already as it is. You don't need to change anything. You just need to get better at articulating it. We don't necessarily need to change our pricing. We don't need to change our messaging. We just need to get better at articulating what the transformation is. So how you show up, your unique value point is what we're speaking about today, is the superpower, is the ultimate life-changing thing for our clients. So I'm going to give you some prompts, but just realize that ultimately right now, I want you to leave this live with like, I am the best damn thing to happen to my clients. I am owning my confidence today. I know what I bring to the table. I know that I'm going to hit a $5,000 month or $10,000 month or $20,000 month in the next, X amount of time. And it just takes me looking at these things and owning the fact that I truly believe in myself and I truly believe in my ability to do this, and cutting out the noise of comparison, unfollowing the people that make you compare yourself, and staying in your own lane. So ultimately, you confidently showing up, kicking these limiting beliefs to the curb, and realizing that you are the magic and you alone can attract your ideal clients just by being you, and just by taking your marketing really seriously, taking your articulation of your offer really seriously, you'll see the momentum skyrocket in your biz. But too often than not, I see so many people just doubting themselves and sitting on that doubt and not taking action and not showing up and not connecting with people and not pitching people because they, don't want to be too salesy. We're letting that go today. We're letting that go. Like, we're here to change people's lives. We're here to support people. We're here to serve, which means that we need people to know what we're selling. We need people to know, our transformation. We need people to understand that what we have is life-changing, which means we need to talk about it, right? And so I'm going to give you some prompts before we cut off this live. And then just remember that in the Visionary Accelerator, we learn to capitalize on your uniqueness, think about what you want to be known for in the online space, and create a strategy that helps you showcase and show up in that way. And so if you are someone that is currently on your way to $5,000 to $8,000 months in your business, definitely send me a DM before the bonuses expire tomorrow and we will have a conversation about it. But let's get into the prompts. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about gap analysis in our business. So things that we actually need to assess in order to make sure that we're at the place to make more money. So whether that is pricing, product suite, marketing, content, etc., etc. We're going to look at that tomorrow. And then on Friday, we're doing a hot seat coaching where you can actually just come in and ask me questions. So you're welcome to DM me questions or you can just pop them in the chat on Friday. So I'm super excited for that too. I saw that we have a question here. How do you know when it's time to raise your prices? Or when do you stop raising your prices? So we'll bring that into tomorrow with gap analysis or Friday. I think that's a great question. Any other questions like that, I'm happy to answer, whether it's marketing again, or it is pricing, whether it's packages, whether it's offer suite. We'll get into it over the next couple of days. Now let's get into the prompts. But first, before I get into the prompts, I want you guys, like, while you're here and while you're listening to me, I want you to be like, yeah, I am the best damn thing to happen to my clients. So I'm going to show up that way and just own that today. Okay. So the prompts, what makes me different than any other person in my industry? And how can I capitalize on that? And how can I showcase that in my content? What is my unique mission that might be different than everyone else in the space, right? So there are a lot of mindset coaches that also do business coaching in the space, right? And there's a reason why people specifically come to me. How can I capitalize on that? What do I bring to the table that's different than anyone else? And this doesn't necessarily have to be like, I have X amount of experience in marketing or I went to college for this. This can simply be, like I have an autoimmune and I talk about that in my content, or I talk about that on TikTok and how I navigate that and how I built a business to allow health, time, and financial freedom, right? So that's what I bring to the table, is also my knowledge and stuff like that. I'm a very holistic coach in general. I'm not going to just say like, oh yeah, push through your autoimmune. I'm going to be like, okay, how do we create a business model that allows you to take care of yourself in this way? How can I connect on a deeper level with my audience? And this is for, creating connection and community in your audience. A lot of times we are not creating a deep enough connection with our audience. So whether that is lives or creating some sort of community or offering free services or whatever, how can I create deeper connection with my audience? Because the deeper connection you have and the deeper community that you have, the easier it is to sell. It just is. When people like you and when people know you and when they've built like trust with you, it's easier to sell. That's one of the basis of marketing. And then what do I truly believe in that others don't? And this is like, what are your unpopular opinions, right? So a great example of this is I have a post coming out in the next little bit about manifesting, because we talk about manifesting money all the time. And I'm like, we don't really manifest money in business without strategy. And that's a belief that I have. And so being able to articulate those and share those and not be afraid of what other people think if we have differing beliefs, especially if you're a service provider and you very heavily work in strategy. This is really, really, really important because people want to come to you and know that you're going to align on similar things. This can also be just like life things. This can be just like, different areas of your personality that make you different. I know Megan that's here shares a lot of her like outfits and stuff, and I'm sure people love that. I love watching them and it makes me feel connected to you, right? So I want you to take those prompts. I want you to make little notes of them, maybe even send me a DM and let me know if you want to brainstorm what came up or if you have questions or comments. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to get you away from just saying like, I'm a social media manager, I'm a mindset coach, I'm an OBM, and into like, I'm your business best friend, or, kind of creating like your own brand around it. So people look at you and see like, okay, that's different, right? And so I want you guys to brainstorm on these and then come back to me. Let me know in the DMs. Let me know what you took away from this. I know this is a shorter live, but this is, again, we're kind of building upon getting to the point of gap analysis, getting to the point of being able to look at marketing strategy and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Have a happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? And send me a DM if you want to talk about TVA, and stay tuned for tomorrow. Don't forget to enter the giveaway as well too.